It's a bummer. It's pretty bloody.
Oh, you know what? This is the sentry, the LOL, yeah, right, sentry map is what I like to remember it as in my head, because in the middle of the map you got this little choke, right? Good luck ever making
Oh.
a map like this on StarCraft.
Just put one sentry at each one of those. Be like, oh, you're never getting over here, buddy.
Or even just a pylon. I mean, you can wall that off so easily. Anyway, guys, this is the Starbow Ladder Cup semifinals. There's $400 that have been raised for the prize pool, which is pretty awesome. Because let's be honest, this started with nothing, and I think a lot of players were just playing for the competitive nature of it. But now there's money on the line. We'll see who can take it today. Spawning in the lower left corner of the map, though. For now, the blue Protoss, RSVP.
The top right as the red Zerg, it's TEHREDBANDIT.
Okay, so I like these earlier scouts that RSVP's been doing every game. Like I said, there's a lot of players in Starbow who kind of all play very similar to one another because there's only a certain amount of strategies you can employ. The game is still, I hesitate to still call it new, but it really is. With all the constant changes and updates, things are on the regular changing, and sometimes in instances, like when you remove Marauders or entire units from the game, it's almost new all over again. That being said, Red Bandit does one thing different than most, and he doesn't play the same way as everybody else. He likes to get aggressive. He likes to get those speedlings out early. Whether it's 6 or 4, we constantly see them go across the map. So for RSVP to see this is not out of the ordinary in the context of the player he's playing against, but if this was anyone else, this would be a massively large scout. I wonder actually, this was a map too, I'm trying to remember, Tefl I think it was, because I remember when Starbow got that sort of month of hype, we had a lot of the regular gamers for StarCraft giving it a shot, seeing how it goes, and I remember Tefl trying to all in on this map every single time we cast him and absolutely failing, because the chokes really played against him.
Yeah. I was wondering if we were going to see anyone, because I didn't watch the qualifiers, the rest of the tournament, I guess, yesterday. If we're going to see anyone sort of famous. But then there's also like a bajillion other tournaments going on, so even if they wanted to play in this one, they probably couldn't have.
Well, the thing is, this required a lot of... This is the strange thing about the Ladder Cup qualifiers as well. You had to have actually played a certain amount of games, had a certain amount of points on the ladder. And if we're going to be quite honest, for some players, like, let's use innovation within context, because, you know, he plays Starbow quite nicely, and he's a really good player at it. But the problem is, he probably doesn't have time to devote from his practice schedule to spend 15 hours a week getting those ladder points to even compete in this cup. So this really, it's not the flashiest tournament, but it rewards those who are the most dedicated to Starbow at the same time. And I kind of actually like that they did it that way. But speaking of innovation, just to name drop here, he will be playing the Starbow Invitationals we'll be throwing in the top 3 finishers of this cup today. So with 4 people playing, 3 of them will be coming back for more show matches and events on May 10th. Hopefully, ideally, of course, assuming it works with their schedule.
It's cool. It's cool beans, bro.
Let's probe.
First blood.
We'll get killed, and I will remember to do first blood, because that's right. That was the best part about the Lone Star Clash last night, by the way. I didn't have to worry about overlays or anything, map intros messing up. I even, believe it or not, when I got into the game, I didn't even fumble the hotkeys when I was setting up the score. What was up with that?
GG, good job.
It was weird. It was like it wasn't me. Is this real?
Whoa.
Is this real?
Is this the real life?
So we're going back to this topic of Red Bandit playing this game a little bit differently than most. Unfortunately, this is gonna get scouted. Like, was he gonna go for a Spinecrawler rush? Is my only thought. It sounds dumb, but I mean, we saw that from who was it? Was it Sue or whatever? They gave Cats the shout out for like the sewer thing in Pro League. So I mean, like, it's not crazy to consider that this could happen in Starbow, I guess. It's just not something you would have expected to see. He is working on keeping this alive, though. We don't see a cancel coming down. And here comes a pull. Some queens walking across the map, too. This is weird, Zombie Grub, and I don't know what to make of this. But I think this could be cool, I guess?
An Evo chamber?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm pretty confused. I'm ready and waiting to see what's gonna happen with this. They're gonna play spore crawlers and spine crawlers.
I can only imagine this would be spine crawlers, because why else would you possibly need this proxy hatchery? He's got the queens coming too, which are going to be fantastic. They'll be able to put down some creep tumors, do transfuses, or I guess in Starbow, of course, nurturing swarms, make those spines build a little bit faster. And even though he was sitting in cannons for some of that, he actually takes out a lot of those zealots. This hatchery will get up alive.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if this had gone unscouted, this probably would have been his best case scenario. But as we see, even without scouting with the zealot actively, with the forge and the gateway range alone, you can pretty much see all that creep.
Yeah.
Have the drones?
Yeah,
reported?
alright.
Okay, there we go. 3 are coming.
Okay, so it is going to be spine crawlers. Going to be able to attack the front. I mean, spine crawler rushes have actually existed in StarCraft 2 as well. I don't know if they existed in Brood War, but whatever.
This is... Well, you know, Queen's getting... I was going to say, Queen's getting enraged. They deal a ton of damage to zealots when enraged. I think he would have obviously loved to have had that energy instead for, say, nurturing swarms. Make these build a little bit faster, but...
He still has a lot of energy. I mean, those were
You know what?
completely
Hang on.
banked out.
I think he can reach that pylon. And that's not going to defy the cannon, never mind.
Well, eventually he's going to be reaching everything up front.
Yeah, of course. This is so cool, though. I like this a lot. This is, again, Red Bandit plays... This is why I kind of refer to like TLO. I mean, that's the big deal. It's just weird, it's strange, it's different, and let's be honest, this is something that can be effective. As he comes forward here, spine cars have a lot of damage associated with them. We have a chrono boost go down on the cannon though, so we'll make attack a lot faster. And the zealots are charging up, but there's more spine cars behind this. We see that nurturing swarm go down. This spine car receives a very nice heal. The queens may not be enraged, but they're definitely trying to get involved with the fight. Unfortunately, one spine car gets another nurturing swarm. Another nurturing swarm. Is there no end to the energy? A queen pops out and immediately nurturing swarms. These spine crawlers take out that cannon, and there's just nothing he can do. Backs away with the zealots.
I didn't think those two spines were actually going to survive.
Well, we had like 5 nurturing swarms go into it. I mean, it just kept healing and healing and healing and healing over and over again. And this is the evolution chamber, I guess. The spore crawler coming down for detection on the off chance that DTs were made as a response, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, probably. But what do you do against this?
This sounds silly, but I'd say a Reaver, maybe Storms. We see Lings get absolutely crippled. If there's no Lings to buffer for the spine crawlers, Transfuses will eventually run out and Zealots will reign supreme, I think. But at this point, it may have just gotten too out of hand. Like, this may just... I mean, with how early he saw the hatchery, if we're going to be honest, guys, RSVP had plenty of time to assess what do I make against this. And DTs are not a bad choice, but again, that Spore Crawler is nestled in there perfectly. Those are never going to be touched. That Spore Crawler is never going to be touched by Dark Templar.
I'm just like wondering, right? Because I think it's really important that RSVP, while maybe losing this game, honestly, thinks of what he can do next game. Because if it's such a powerful strategy that it's scouted immediately, yet you still lose to it, like, you gotta be thinking like crazy strats, because he's probably gonna be doing it the next game too.
Well, what's really cool, and this is not really being showcased so well right now, but if you guys have been noticing the subtle chrono boost going down on top of the cannons, making it attack faster makes them, like, you've got the potential to kill these during that reburrow phase. So as dumb as it might sound, maybe even another layer of cannons behind this may have been an appropriate answer as well. But the Zealots are saying, I've had enough of this. They are going to try and break on out of here. Someone called Fear Dragon, breaking out North America. But this army is just not going to cut it. The Zealots are getting shredded by the Spine Crawlers. The Queens are granted pretty much out of energy for transfuses. But, you know, if I'm not mistaken too... You know what I've forgotten? You can only build one Queen per hatchery in Starbow. So, I mean, that's why we don't see that infinite transfuse capabilities for this. So that could be one of the weaknesses, I suppose, but not by much. Now, the Spore Crawler does have to reposition. This is going to be a bit awkward as a couple spines will start going down here, but as soon as that burrows up, yeah, DT's...
Oh, he's trying to get out, maybe do a counterattack.
1 HP hype? Anyone? Okay,
Look how low the supplies are still, by the way. Tread Bandit still, like, not... I don't think it ever broke 30 supply.
Well, I mean, count each of these spine crawlers, drone too. I don't know. You're right. The supply's been dangerously low, but you know, he's going for a counterattack, and Red Bandit already anticipates this. He's willing to give up his natural, but he's got spine crawler and spores coming down in his main. These DTs will not end the game, sadly. But that's another thing. Like, a War Prism could have been a great response. You know, if you know he's going to slowly, because he has to rely on the creep to reposition, right? If you know he's slowly going to break into your base, shuttle Zealots across the map, build a probe, get another base. I don't know what you would do, but I mean, there's just a lot of alternatives, and none of them have been really exercised. RSVP, I think, is just what happens to classically most players in StarCraft 2, both pros and amateurs, where it's like, what are you doing? I've not seen this. I don't know how to deal this. You know, I'm 12. What is this?
Who's that? Who's
He's still building more spine crawlers, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
So now he tries a Robo and a Stargate. So he's like, I've run out of ideas. Let's just throw everything down.
This is so cool. I'm sorry. Like, I should hate RSVP for doing this, or I mean, Red Bandit for doing this. But at the same time, this is just like super nerd chills that this happened so close to the whole thing with cats and whatnot on Reddit just this past week. So, props to Red Bandit. If it comes to a base trade scenario, even I think he still wins because the DTs they're not going to kill these spine crawlers. Bottom line, a lair is coming up next, so possibly Mutalisk to finish the deal, seal the deal. What's a scout gonna do though?
Attack the spine crawlers?
But there's combination queens and spore crawler.
I don't know. I think he's just. I think he really is panicking. He's like, "What do I do?
Hang on.
I'm gonna try everything."
How does he not have an overseer morphed in? You don't. It's 25-25. He's got the overlord right here.
Don't tell him what to do, Rifkin.
I'm not, but I'm just saying it's odd that he's relying on the spore crawler for detection.
Strong, independent black woman.
Okay, Zombie Grab. Red Bandit don't need no man. I got your message. But yeah, the shuttle's coming up way too late, I feel. And the scouts are kind of a neat idea, because the spore crawler is going to be out of range for a lot of the spine crawlers. Like, you could kind of do the whole position micro over here, even on top of the high ground stuff. But this is just, I feel very slow death.
Oh, okay. So finally gets Reavers, right? Here's what I'm thinking. If I'm in this situation, I'm pretty much assuming that I'm dead, actually. So I'm gonna be like, well, what do I do like that's gonna be effective now? Like, what can I see that I should have done in the first place so I can handle this better next time? So if he gets a Reaver out and suddenly it's the most like productive thing in the world, like it's taking on spines left and right, he's like, okay, now I know what to do next time because I'm probably gonna lose this game.
Well, that's what I'm kind of talking about, though. Like, I would have liked to have seen the Reaver much earlier, if for no other reason to kind of keep the spine crawlers and the Zerglings from advancing, to go across them, to do that counterattack. I mean, even with spine crawlers down, this Reaver would clear this mineral line, no problem. Scout's actually going to try and do that as well.
Poor Scout, it's so useless in every game it's ever in.
Right, and it looks cool, though, and its attack sounds neat. But the Reaver is going to start shooting forward, and as we see, the Scarab does a ton of damage. RSVP stuck on one base. He's nurturing swarms.
See, now he knows. He's like, okay, this is doing really well. I should have done this in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, the Hydulists are coming down, they're gonna get shredded. The Lings could never push forward with this. Yeah, Reavers I think definitely would have been the right answer to have earlier. And again, guys, I want to stress this isn't like, okay, well, he needed time. It was one of those things where, you know, he could have done this much sooner. Like, he had so much time to react after seeing that hatchery. You have to guess what that hatchery's for, and I mean, let's be honest, what else could it be for other than spine crawlers? Now, he did establish a nexus. He's managed to save up enough money to do this on the other side of the map, so he may yet still be in this. RSVP knows that his opponent's stuck on one base, that this is pretty much everything he has in life. He's actually cleaning up the spine crawlers now, and Red Bandit says, alright, you know what, I gotta pull back off this. This is not working anymore. Hoping he's done enough damage, but not realizing that RSVP did sneak out another base.
I think that now that RSVP is able to break out and have a very good tech against Hydulisk as well, he could win this. The Spire is going to be what brings Red Bandit back into this game.
But you know what? Scouts are not exactly bad. It's not going to be a ton of mutos. At most, 3 can pop at a time. There's 1 hatchery of production.
Oh, well, it's 2 hatcheries. Excuse you.
Oh, okay, the second one's now being made. My bad. Yes,
no, the proxy.
Me. Well, it was getting killed with the DTs earlier. I assumed it was already dead.
And the larva stays after it's dead too, so that's at least 3 more mutas.
Okay, you got me, Zombie Grub. Guilty, I'm an idiot. But, I mean, I'm serious though. The Scout does a lot of damage to air. Not so much against ground, but...
He has these Hydulists just like, I'm not going to take care of that Scout because, you know...
Right?
No,
or the Spore Crawler could even move. Kind of dick move there, but... Alright. He's probably never going to clean up enough creep in the time it takes for this game to really end. Like, I think the game will be over before these creep tumors are all gone and the creeps receded. So this natural base is kind of out of question for the time being. But the beetles do pop out. And unfortunately, yeah, they'll take the Scout down. But you know, he's got the Stargate, so upon seeing that, he can start making Corsairs. He's got Blink Stalkers already, 3 at a time, producing even more.
I think he's got it. Red Bandit also supply blocked heavily. He's gonna wait for the hatcheries to finish to unsupply block him. But he's down in supply. He's down in workers. That hidden base from RSVP got up no problem.
Is RSVP seriously going to turn this around?
I think he is. I think once the spine color started going down with pretty much no retaliation, he won the game.
Yeah, this is insane to consider. I thought Red Bandit had this in the bag, but perhaps, like you mentioned before, you know, his supply was pretty low that whole time. Having lost that natural base, he never really had a big drone count anyways. So kind of in retrospect, I guess it makes a little more sense that he would kind of fall behind like this. But there's no detection here on the front lines. The observatory was made, but these lurkers will actually keep everything back for the time being. Oh, Scumbag Hydraulics move. The splash damage will kill lurkers.
Yeah,
oh!
I was like, he's gonna do the zealot.
Yeah, that's
He's
so cool.
He's trying.
That's cool. He almost got the one lurker. It's too bad he can't see that to confirm it, of course. Neat tactics out of RSVP. His hidden base was exposed while this is going on, so the Mutalisks are starting to go to town on it. But the Blink Stalkers are here, and there's too many of them. The Mutalisks have got to book it right now.
This is an awesome base to have if you're able to siege your opponent. Like, look how short that distance was between saving his base and attacking the Red Bandit.
Wow. But you know what? The observers are on the way. We got another Reaver back at home too. I wonder if he'll go back to. He could actually probably recall it to this Nexus with a Cadrian Crystal upgrade. That'd be closer than his own base. Oh, I didn't realize Burrow would juke hits like Stealth does. It's kind of cool to see. Second volley of Stalker hits did nothing. You know, RSVP, he did this, he could, in my opinion, probably hop around and start dancing around with these Blink Stalkers to pick off drones. Again, just circumvent the lurkers entirely, but what he's really, I feel, focused on is the defense, and in doing so, this gives Red Bandit a lot of time to get units out that he should otherwise be panicking and losing at his own base.
He has a Reaver with a Warp Prism. He should be definitely trying to do something with that.
Oh, it kills the lurker with those tactics, and that Stalker didn't even lose full shields.
You have an Observer, though. Use it to kill the creep and also bring the other one over, please.
Scarab confirmed good unit?
Naive.
I can't even believe that didn't kill the Stalker. Like, I thought that was going to do massive damage, but whatever. This one to Arc Templar with 1 HP. He's kind of been the wounded veteran of this game, and I think alive the longest, but he's still standing, patrolling around, making sure no ninja bases are taken. This is really not the way I saw this game would play out. And you know, even with the observers now coming out, Red Bandit's got to keep these Mutalisks alive so much more so, because now those Reavers are a bigger threat than ever. You know, this is going to sound really dumb, because it's new. I'd love to see some parasitic domination, though, on the Reavers. Like, drop them out of the Warp Prism, throw the Mind Control dot thing on them. Say sayonara to the rest of your army.
This could be a problem for the Warp Prism. Get Scourge on the way.
It'd be nice for sniping off, but if we're going to be quite honest, these Reavers, they don't need to go anywhere. It's a slow siege forward into the natural, right? He's already picking off the spines. I think even if he picks up the Warp Prism, I think Red Bandit might still be dead.
I think so, as well.
Is he even going to pick it off, though? Blink Stalkers will keep that alive. Just barely. Hydralisk can't move into the Reaver fire. Neither can Lurkers. If Lings are made, they get instantly popped off as well. This is a lot of Hydralisks, but okay, here come the Enraged Queens. It's the last stand. Red Bandit's going to try and make this work, guys. That Warp Prism is incredibly low, but the Hydralisks are going down very quickly as well to every single Reaver hit that goes off, but he focuses them down in that Warp Prism, so he actually chases this back. Queens Enraged will hold the line, and these Hydralisks, no, they have to suffer some losses, but now the threat is gone. His opponent, only on 2 bases, same as him. This is not crazy out of hand. He made a macro hatchery while this was going on as well. The only thing that could be perhaps a little bit better if he was on Hive Tech, but sticking with Lair, going to keep going with these ranged units. Mass Hydra seem to be the goal for the time being.
He needs storms to really take on this army. I think he can still do it just with because he has better production, but
I like this blink control though out of RSVP.
Yeah, it would have been a lot easier with storms.
Oh, agreed, 100%. But I mean, I don't think he has it. He's got the Templar Archives, but no research for it, right? Yeah, no storm tech. And Blink Stalkers, they don't kill things very fast, but they don't go down very quickly either. 4 more at a time. His main's mined out, though. It's worth noting. This is the only mining base of RSVP right now. So for him, again, it looks like he might just be able to push and win with his overwhelming army supply, but at the same time, he has to be very concerned that his army's halfway across the map over here where they're reinforcing. It's halfway over here with the Hydralisks, and he has to guard this one mining base. I kind of think rather than playing defensive, playing offensive would be better in this scenario, but not his choice. as Red Bandit decides to put on a bit of pressure himself.
RSVP is actually looking, I don't know. It's getting pretty bad now again, because if he loses this position, he loses his second base. He never got his natural back again.
He's gonna yield it. What? He doesn't have enough minerals. He's gonna have to long distance mine in order to build another Nexus.
Wow. Okay.
Hold on. Let's recap. Red Bandit looked like he was going to win this game with that Spinecrawler push. It was sick. It was unstoppable. RSVP made the right answers, but way too late. So he turns it around, and Red Bandit, who had no army supply, looked like he was going to die, and the Reavers would wreck those Hydras as they funnel through a choke. But nay, yet again, Red Bandit turns it around on him, and now all of a sudden, RSVP is the one who's in, quite frankly, grave danger.
I can't believe that this has just been going on. Like,
yeah, this is why I like Starbow though. Granted, this is slow and it's not fast paced like we've seen some Starbow matches be, but this is about as back and forth as it gets.
These Dragoons are gonna help out. They don't have their range yet. They're pretty bad at.
Well, Singularity Charge is coming up in a second, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Run! Run!
I think RSVP's just kind of screwed though. You're right. Storms were necessary, and if not storms, Archons at the very least. But with neither available and one Reaver slowly climbing to the front lines, actually he may be able to do this with the Reaver. He may just be able to hold this with that Reaver coming in. I forgot he had this sitting in the back of his base this whole time. Hydras are taking pretty big hits.
Oh no!
Oh, he loses the Reaver, but most of the Hydras are dead.
Okay,
this game! This game!
Just transport back 15 minutes and we're at where we were.
Right? This is my son's the Spinecrawlers, but gets the Nexus. And that's going to be quite devastating for RSVP. Again, he's long distance mining, he's got some economy, but he just can't produce units to hold this off.
Oh my god, Red Bandit's going to take it.
You could almost argue he like deserved to do it in the first place, and that he shouldn't have lost after the Spinecrawlers,
god.
but that's a good game is what that was. Just long story short, 2-1 now in the favor of Red Bandit. We'll go to game number 4 here in a moment, guys.